Their main, quote, goal as a company is now to teach kindergartners in Florida that they can, in fact, change their gender just by wishing it so. It makes you wonder if kids in Florida can consent to chemical castration with no parental involvement. If that can be true, what exactly can't they consent to once we set that standard? Disney didn't say, but maybe there's another agenda here. Nor did they explain their fixation on the sexuality of children. But it's worth pointing out that 4 Disney employees were just busted in a major human trafficking sting, including one employee who allegedly sent sexually explicit texts to a detective posing as a 14-year-old.
Okay, and Tucker Carlson, of course, would never affiliate with someone who had been involved or implicated in child sex trafficking. Oh, whoops, actually had Matt Gaetz on his show last night. 1 year he banished him, but then he brought him back. You get 1 year off Tucker Carlson for the sex trafficking, and then you get embraced once again. Now look, admittedly, in that video, there's a lot going on, and it's not gonna be possible for us to respond to all of the insane claims about Disney that Tucker Carlson is saying there, but we can focus on the highlights, which is that because Disney, after weeks of advocacy from sane, compassionate people, is now coming out and saying, okay, you've twisted our arms. We don't love DeSantis and the don't say gay thing. I guess we're aggrieved by it. That has instantly morphed for Tucker Carlson and the right into they explicitly support at will, no parental involvement, chemical castration of kids. And that's not even the total plot. What else is Disney looking for? Like, he is clearly trying to say that Disney, which makes shows like Moon Knight, is in this game to have sex with kids. That's what he's saying. They're groomers because everyone that the right disagrees with is now a pedophile. That is how this game is played. They have so dumbed down their base that they have gotten them to accept a worldview where anyone who disagrees with you about literally anything obviously has to be the most evil person in the world. And what does the most evil person in the world want to do? Have sex with kids, possibly cannibalize them as well. And so they just label all of their political opponents as pedophiles. Tucker Carlson knows that none of this is true, that none of this is founded in anything, but he has so little respect for American politics or for his viewers that he is eagerly engaging in this. Multiple segments over this week about an ever-evolving theory of Disney, which is objectively a late to the party, reluctant supporter of LGBTQ rights and representation, who still largely erases the entire community from all of their collected artistic work. Now they are the sex criminals, Sabrina. Now I understand you're not much of a fan of Disney in a lot of different ways, and Disney's done a lot of bad stuff and continues to. But can we like restrain our criticism to the universe of the real?
The fact that he would try to like group Disney, who, like you said, they have been very reluctant to even like acknowledge the LGBTQ community in their media over the years. They've been forced and pushed by their own employees and by a lot of their fan base. I mean, gosh, even when I worked at Disney, it's not unreasonable to say that like more than half of the people who work there were queer in some way or another. So it has been really disappointing to see their very slow progress. And now that they finally had their arm twisted over this evil bill, the fact that Tucker Carlson would try to vilify the company as a whole as if they've been like this martyr for gay rights this whole time is wild. And it is true that, you know, those 4 gross trafficker people in Florida like did work for Disney. The fact that he would try to associate that with Disney as a whole is wild. I mean, look, he's still appealing to, you know, people who are very, very religious in the church and whatnot. You don't see him like disavowing the church altogether just because of some very vile sex crimes in that department.
Yeah. I don't know. It's good to have an expert on the show. Look, what percentage, when you were like, for instance, a mascot, what percentage of your day would you say was devoted to attempting to traffic children? 10%? 40%?
You know, it's hard to say. It was so long ago. But I would say a solid 0%.
Okay, give or take. And you played Stitch, very appealing for kids. Kids love Stitch and his crazy antics.
Yeah, 6 giant blue sex icon, you know?
God. Anyway, look, they love this. They love the insanity. Again, they don't talk about crazy things like by accident. They want politics to be as far away, like the focus to be as far away from things that are real and true. Politics is supposed to be about fixing actual problems. It's about, famously, who gets what, where, and why. Like policy, that's what it's about. That is not what any of the right-wing activity is about. And their media is all fundamentally the same. One show might look like Tucker Carlson, one might look like Ben Shapiro. The strategy is exactly the same and the outcome is exactly the same. They want politics to be absurd. And the issue is, I know some people might say, well, John, if you can identify that, if you clearly, all of you, like Sabrina and people on TYT and everything, if you're so like frustrated with this, then just don't engage. But the issue is that while their strategy is absurd and they don't care about it, it's all designed as a distraction, they are targeting people, vulnerable communities that need to be defended. And honestly, I'm gonna say, I have a frustration. This is not specifically with our audience, but with our writ large side of the political spectrum. In that, when the right focuses on attacks on gay Americans or more recently, generally trans Americans, do you know what the right-wing base does? They pay attention. People watch in droves to hear some of the least intelligent, least witty, least funny people in America drone on about conspiracy theories about the trans community. Ben Shapiro is gonna get hundreds of thousands of views attacking the trans community. And this community desperately needs representation and defense. And do you think that the passion of our side measures up to those who are engaged in this years-long, never-ending assault? No, people don't care nearly as much. And that puts us on an uneven playing field that has real-world consequences, rights being stripped away. Ron DeSantis signed the Don't Say Gay bill. We tried to fight against it. We tried to rally people against it. They won on that. And what is the Democratic response? What's the response from our side? Maybe we'll pay attention a little bit. I don't know, politics is kind of boring. Like that's frustrating when you consider the stakes, Sabrina.
No, we're gonna get rainbow chalk sidewalks and then they're gonna be scrubbed away once, Pride Month is over, as we've been seeing over the last few years. And also happy Trans Day of Visibility, everybody.
Yes. Yeah, and we're gonna focus on a little bit on some of the good news, but we're gonna put it in context. The good news is more like that chalk rainbow in effect, in some ways, than it is here, where literally entire communities are being written out of existence, out of acknowledgement. And why? Ron DeSantis does not lose sleep over gay 4-year-olds. This is a ruse. It is a ruse to protect the rich from accountability, because a right-wing base that is constantly frothing at the mouth over groomers is not paying attention to the fact that the rich in this country are getting away with murder. They're not paying attention to the fact that their wages never, like forget about the inflation now, never keep up with inflation. They lose ground every single year. The odds of them being able to own a house continually slip away with every year that passes by. Student loan debt piles up. Your ability to afford health insurance becomes more and more difficult. But how are you gonna pay attention to all that when you're so angry about trans swimmers in high schools? That is the obvious transparent strategy. And it is so difficult to get people to acknowledge it because they, by design, are targeting issues that play into the most primal base and in many cases, disgusting emotions that humans experience.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.